Hi everyone, Elliot Jacobson here for Advanced Advantage Play, and today I want to present a guaranteed winning method. Well, as it turns out, it's a guaranteed losing method, but it was portrayed as a winning method, and I think it illustrates everything I want to say about information and winning methods in one great story. Thank you, Willie Allison, for bringing this to my attention. He posted this article to his Twitter account just the other day. So, all right, what am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about this article, Guaranteed Wins Gambling Scheme. Defrauds victim of, well, these are, MOP is called a Macanese Pataka, and that there's a conversion rate, so it's 180,000 of these, and that comes out to be $22,500 more or less. So what I want to do here today is to read through this article for you and sort of comment on it as we go along. So here we go. This story appeared Friday, July 19th. That's yesterday or the day before in Macau. And here it is. A 33-year-old mainland resident has been detained by Macau authorities for his alleged involvement in a large-scale fraud case wherein he is accused of duping a victim out of 180,000 of these Macanese patakas through a fraudulent gambling investment scheme. The victimized mainland man told the police that the suspect claimed to be able to win at Baccarat with a lose one, buy two method. And he even offered to sign a guaranteed winning formula agreement of some sort. They don't actually say agreement in this article. So what's going on here? Well, all right, somebody is talking about a method that sounds like a betting progression. And they're saying, look, I have this secret way of winning. I know this progression. I will tell you just a little bit about it. It's when you lose one, you buy two. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's clear that this was not based on information, right? He wasn't talking about card exposure or some counting system or explaining some side bet or maybe some loss rebate, one of these things where you have information. He's talking about what's obviously nonsense, all right? When you don't have any information, that's nonsense 101. That's losing 101. All right, what sorts of things don't have information? I don't know, astrology, tarot cards, I Ching, these kind of psychic beliefs, where you think you can foretell the future, reading tea leaves, all those sorts of things are non-information methods of trying to learn something about the future, right? So in gambling, it's the same exact thing. When you look at a board, right, a Baccarat board, and you think you see a pattern, it's no different than thinking that the way the stars are aligned or the way the tea leaves are in your cup is telling you something about the future. There is no information there, right? But yet, in this particular game, that's kind of how it's portrayed, that I somehow have the ability to read information that you don't have. And, well, honestly, if that was the case, then Baccarat wouldn't exist. And the existence of Baccarat should be proof positive in and of itself that these other things don't mean anything, right? That there is no meaning. There is no telling the future without information. There's no changing odds without information. Any rate, to go on. Pui, all right, so the suspects are named Pui, was arrested on July 17th as he was leaving the Macau International Airport. Pui, who is unemployed, allegedly approached the victim, also a mainland resident, through WeChat last October, claiming to be an expert in gambling with a guaranteed winning formula. Pui reportedly persuaded the victim to invest, now this is actually Chinese yuan, 200,000 Chinese yuan, which is about $27,500. with the promise of regular returns. At first, the suspect did provide some returns to the victim, but then he began making excuses and eventually stopped paying the victim altogether. So, all right, here's how it works. You give me $27,500. Once a week, I'll give you $500 and say, hey, that's your winnings, right? And let's go on a month or two like that. So let's say we do it for 2 months. I've given you $4,000 or $5,000 back out of your investment, and then I skip town. So I'm good for $15,000 or $20,000, or I did have to gamble a little bit in there and sort of make you think I was gambling. So, I probably pretty easily cleared $10,000 from you based on convincing you that I had this winning method. So it's a pretty easy scheme. All you need to do is sort of convince somebody that you are you can see into the future, you have a method of reading tea leaves, you know the planets, you have the right superstitions, whatever it is. And once you've convinced a person that you have this knowledge, people will just start handing over money, as they do for astrology books and I Ching and psychic readings and all these other things. Authorities added that Puyi did not have any so-called winning formula or method and lost most of the money given by the victim. The victim reported the case to Macau authorities on July 13th, stating that he had lost contact with Puyi and the Macanese Pataka 180,000 he had invested. On July 17th, the Macau police successfully intercepted Puyi at the Macau International Airport, which, by the way, I believe is in Hong Kong, and seized Hong Kong $6,000 from the suspect, which they believe is related to the case. Again, let me translate. 6,000 Hong Kong dollars, that's about 770 US dollars. The case has now been transferred to the Public Prosecution's Office for further investigation. Authorities have warned the public to be cautious of such fraudulent investment schemes, particularly those involving promises of guaranteed gambling profits. Thank you to Victoria Chan for writing this up. So what's the lesson of this? Well, yeah, there are going to be scammers out there. But the real lesson is that if you want to beat a casino game, you need information. And that this idea that these boards that are put up next to Baccarat provide information is just wrong, right? These dots, that tell you the sequence of players and bankers, and so you can follow it through the shoe. There's nothing there. Just like there's nothing on these roulette towers that tell you the history of the spins for the last however many, 20 or 30 spins. To really see this, imagine if you were playing blackjack, and next to the blackjack table, they put up exactly how many aces, twos, threes, on up to jack, queen, kings have been played out of the shoe. Well, that would make it trivially easy to count the game and get an edge. You could walk up to any table, compute the running count and true count, and know exactly whether you had an edge or not and whether to make a bet. So that's information. Why do these boards exist on Baccarat and roulette? Because it's not really information, right? It's not information, but they're trying to convince you it is. And so that's how the casinos make money, is off your misunderstanding of what is and is not information. So, all right, everybody, I hope this little story helps you tell the difference between a guaranteed winning system and a guaranteed losing system.